Hello. Hello, hello, hello. How is all? How is one? How is all? How is the several musketeers? Hello, Ragdoll. How you doing? Did the musketeers ever use muskets? Did we ever ascertain that? Only really knew them as swordsmen. It's an oobs. Hello. It's a jibs. Hello. It's a many things. Musketeers, I've said, hello one, hello all, which reminded me of all for one and one for all, which I believe is the musketeers thing. Yeah, let's get music. Music. Man, Rayman mood for music. Tell you what we will do. The thing I spent far too long trying to get sorted. The proper version of the Rayman Origins soundtrack. It's a bit, I guess it's a bit up and down in terms of volume, but it's there. Yeah, spent quite a long time stitching together 30-second pieces of music into a minute 30 of music, which is better than nothing. How are we all doing? Are we all well? Are we having a good Sunday? Okay, got a bit of background music. It's probably going to fluctuate in volume. Yeah. Let's hop over to Doodles scene. How are we doing? You just finished your Gymnal Fantasy 8 poster. Ooh, marvellous. Is it places to be seen yet? Or is it just a personal success? Yeah. I like how you managed to finish a poster for the last draw through when I still haven't finished the poster for the draw through before that. Yeah. So, speaking of draw throughs, we're going to doodle some things from the new draw through because I'm going to have to draw these things a lot and I want to get used to it. So, put it on Twitter in a moment. Marvellous. Yeah, so if you, for anyone who didn't see, on Tuesday we started a new draw through. The new draw through is slightly different to normal, in as much as I have randomly generated a plot structure and we're going to try and write a story that fits it. And yeah, everyone's open to submit, characters and designs and monsters and locations, whatever you want to do, backstory. It's a big old community writing thing, design thing. So if you want to get involved, you can, but you don't have to. You're doing a drawing time lapse for the cultural centre where your sister-in-law works, but you're totally oblivious to any video producing. That's fair. I have been using the software I've picked up recently. It's called HitFilm. I don't know if you're looking for a video editor, but I do recommend HitFilm because it's like Adobe Premiere, but it's free. Time to place bets on how much pre-work gets tossed out of the window once the symbols get revealed. Exactly, yeah. So I prefer to think about things either in terms of tiny details that probably aren't going to come up, or big picture ideas as to where we can kind of vaguely steer the plot when everything goes wrong. Now on Twitter and Discord. Ooh. And also now on Strem. Look at that. Ah, everyone looks great. Ooh, I like Jenny's hair as well. I guess I keep forgetting that I draw things in monochrome, so I don't know how people are going to interpret the characters and stuff, but it's cool. It's very nice. I like the colours. Very, very, what's the word? Saturated, which is great. Lovely. Wonderful. And it's time for the retweet button. Boom. Yes. You got video pad, it's okay. You're bummed you won't make it to Tuesday streams because drawing class. Oh, that's a shame. But if you want to, I'm going to try and keep things up to date on my website. I've got a little page for it. But if you want to contribute ideas, you can absolutely do it in the Discord or whatever, and we'll try and integrate it at some point later. It's not there's one of the ideas behind this is it doesn't have to be you don't have to be there, you don't have to be on the ball, you don't have to be like, absolutely focused all the way for a stream like the previous interactive draw throughs. This one's a lot more laid back and a lot more open. If you want to join, you can, and you don't have to do it at the time. On the other hand, hooray for drawing classes. Took a while to decide on Jenny's hair color, but eventually you just thought, wait, Jenny's supposed to be generic anime character. Pink hair it is. That seems fair. And it also stops the vast majority of the characters in that game having brown hair. So, yeah. So there has been Doodles by friends. There's more Jib's drawings of characters from this, which I like. It's very good. I like the layered sort of petally dress thing. Yeah. Yeah, and there was also some Miss stuff as well, which was, where was it? I think I was in stream. I think I showed this on stream at the time. Oh yeah, here we are. So there's a bunch of stuff. Got to make this bigger so you can see it. Oh, that didn't help at all. Wonderful. Thank you, Discord. There's some Doodles by Miss. I did like, on the left you can see a picture of, I presume this was a bit early when we were sort of trying to work out ideas. But I like the pigtail idea for the witch, and so I decided to try and do it, but with the pigtails like tied up around the back. Yeah. Mrs. Doodles are so cute, yeah. So there's a bit of volume fluctuation in the music. It's fine. I'll keep track of that. So yeah, we haven't done a lot. We haven't done part 1 yet, but we're designing little characters and vague ideas for what this is. We don't even have names. Do we have ideas as to what sort of name we can give characters? This is our protag, the nurse witch. I like the idea that she's not a witch, she just happens to have a lot of the things that we associate with witches. She has a big hat, because nurses wear big pointy hats in this world, because if you want somebody to help you with a medical problem, they're easy to spot if they're wearing a big pointy hat. There could also be more than one witch character, that's fair. And I like the idea that she's just carrying a broom as, like, I don't know, an affectation. You know, she uses it as a quarterstaff or something. Like, everyone has unconventional weapons in this game. Got a shovel, got a broom, why not? Yeah, I don't know. I'm also trying a slightly different drawing setup, so if everything goes horribly wrong, you know why. Yeah. So sort of like this was the hat when they got it, but they've been, and this is like the uniform of the nurses. It's like, yeah, you see this big pointy hat, you know, somebody's here to help. But over time, it's gotten all floppy. Presumably she's travelled a lot. I don't know. I don't know what our backstory is for this character. So far we have 0 soldiers, so it would make sense if they didn't have any weapons. Exactly. I also like the idea, because we did have Kajiro selling knives. I like the idea that Kajiro's following around our party constantly trying to sell us knives, but none of our characters actually use proper weapons. So it's like, you picked the wrong adventuring party here. None of us actually use knives. Yeah, so hat's gone all floppy, but it's supposed to be pointy. Just like, I'll get it pointed when I've next have time to find a hatter to sort it out. And then the adventure happens, and she never gets an opportunity. So yeah. Also, she cultivates mushrooms in it, so that's probably going to affect the structural integrity, I imagine. They're medicinal mushrooms. It's fine. What are you buying? Sorry, what are you buying? I don't think I've actually heard... I know what that's a reference to. But I don't think I've actually heard it myself. I've only heard a lot of people referencing it. So, it's one of those things. Yeah. So evidently I'm going for a bit more of a sort of chibi anime sort of look here with the big old eyes. I've been experimenting with the big old eyes. I like the big old eyes. Not those. What did I want to draw? Yeah, it's a basic idea for the sort of outfit, I guess. I'm trying to work out a way of drawing things quickly that doesn't look like a mess. Who knows? Because we've got a lot to get through. The more I think about it, now that Miss has pointed out just how much of a story we've got to go through and how difficult it is going to be just to write that story as we go, you know, I didn't really think about the fact that that's going to dramatically increase the amount of time this takes. If I already know the story, it's fine. If I can read the story as I'm going, it's fine. If we don't know the story and we have to write it as we go, less fine. So yeah, I don't know if we have any sort of... It's difficult to do hair with a big rimmed hat, really, isn't it? Oh, that was the other idea I had, which was that because we have this idea of familiars in this world. And I like the idea that there's not really a lot of, like, explicit magic, maybe, in this world. There's a lot of things that we would consider magical, but no, like, you know, people summoning fire with their hands and all that sort of traditional malarkey. Whoops, sorry, cut your head off. But rather there are just things that we would consider magical that just sort of happen. And so familiars are one of those things where you're not like... This was my idea, feel free to veto. This is a group story. But I like the idea that familiars are sort of develop over time. So you just sort of develop a bond with usually animal. And it's just a normal animal. It's just a thing. But, you know, the family pet or a bird that keeps coming to your window or something like that. And slowly but surely that bond develops a little bit like Ragdoll's idea for knights in Final Fantasy VIII. That sort of a bond that causes an increase of magical power, as it were, or something like that. And that it gives, like, extended life to the animal. And the animal, in exchange, provides sort of long-term companionship and friendship. And it's not like a kind of you can talk to them and all that sort of stuff, but it's a kind of, you know, are you thinking what I'm thinking kind of thing? Usually animal, but it can be a piece of coal. That was the idea. The idea is... Usually it's an animal, because that's what little kids are going to get attached to or whatever. But I like the idea that the Stoker's just basically been on the train their whole life. And as a consequence, they haven't really seen animals. But they did once find a piece of coal that looked like it had a smiley face. And so they kept it. And that bond grew. And the magical, life-longing magic, familiar magic happened. And it actually became a happy-faced piece of coal. I don't know, just ideas. That's so sad, but it got a bit of coal as a friend. Thought meant like it starts out as a shadow or a light or something, but then it gets more corporeal the closer you get to it. No, sorry. Yes, okay, I see. No, just it is just an animal to begin with, and then but you get closer to it, but as in emotionally closer to it. There's the problem. The word closer could mean multiple things. Damn you, English. Yeah. So I don't know why our character has a frog, but they're here now. I still don't really know how to draw frogs. And again, my modus operandi for this frog was not Cerebit. That was literally all I had. Was it give it cheeks? Hey, misunderstood. It's fine. Don't worry about it. It's less you misunderstanding and more English being confusing. Don't worry about it. Speaking in English is the conversational equivalent of typing on a touchscreen. Don't even know how to draw frogs, and you've drawn Cerebit lots of times. Present for this. Present for what? Prison for Discord. Prism Discord. Present. What? Oh, you have a present. Oh, I missed that. Sorry. You have a present for Discord. Frog related. Always up for frog stuff. Frog stuff be good. I drew this once with his arms folded, and I like that idea. It's a bit more laid back sort of frog. Oh, I think I know what it's going to be. I think I know what the frog related thing's going to be. Is it going to be flat frog? Which is a good thing to share. Yeah. I follow people on Tumblr now. I know these things in advance. Yeah, so there's Flat Frog. We also had the... I don't know if we're going to keep with the trefoil design. It was just the first thing that popped into my mind when I thought about witches. But it's not a terrible design to have for... Again, that might just be the symbol of nurses in this world. Nurses be good. You do like the idea that there is like magic in this universe, but not magic that people can use, just stuff is magic and it's normal. Yeah. That to me is the sort of almost the definition of a fantasy story, is it's sort of like, I don't know, things that would be extraordinary here are just sort of normal in that world. And I guess fantasy is just anything that's fictional, really. But, you know, how... Okay, quick question. Star Wars, fantasy or sci-fi? I had this question posed to me not recently, and I was quite surprised at my own answer. Don't panic! You're a nurse! Oh yeah, where's your frog? Hiding the tadpole behind their back. They'll grow. They just have a longer life now because of the connection. Yeah. That frog. Soap opera? If only. Star Wars is fantasy in space. I agree. I think it's fantasy. It's just one of those things where it's like, you know, just because they have laser swords and spaceships and things like that, it sort of feels like sci-fi, but then you think, like, what is sci-fi? It's science fiction. It's not, like, there's not a lot of really sort of science-y fiction going on here. It's just sort of things that resemble science fiction. Space wizards, exactly, yeah. I kind of knew the original stories followed, you know, the typical sort of fantasy film, sort of hero's journey sort of thing. Son of a farmer, parents get killed, go and fight space wizard, whatever. There's not enough like Earth evolved things in it to be science fiction. That's a good way of looking at it. Yeah. Yeah. Cool. That's a good way of putting it. You hear Grump's reference, you show up. You heard Grump's reference? Did I accidental grump? It's entirely plausible. Oh yeah, sort of banana thing. Thought I was supposed to be doing quick drawings of this. Or are we going to try and do like one proper drawing of this character so that we have it for... Oh, avatars! We were going to do avatars so that we can have them on screen for each character when they arrive and leave. Also, it doesn't have enough social commentary compared to most sci-fi. That's true. But, you know, you can have schlocky Hollywood sci-fi. Like, it doesn't have to have a message. A lot of sci-fi is usually allegory for something. But... You don't like how misimplied all nurses have frogs for familiars. I quite like that. But that presumably familiars, like, you become attached to a familiar usually when you're young. And it would be a bit weird if everybody who got attached to frogs when they were young became a nurse. It should be fun. Space Wizards is a Dan Avidan TM, is it? I don't know. Which either implies frogs are healing related or just that all nurses like frogs. My assumption is that this character always liked... I don't know, maybe they did like medicine at a young age and they used to go out and pick mushrooms for healing purposes, and that's where they saw frogs and they liked frogs. To me, science fiction is like, it's the distant year of 2002. Humans have devolved into goo. Yeah. To be honest, that sounds like a Stephen King story. Yeah, okay, let's look at these 3/4 faces. Well, that one's a bit more. That was like 60 degrees. How about face on? How's that gonna work? Again, I've been experimenting with eyes because I've never been happy with the way I do eyes, and I quite like just, you know, draw an oval and then work it out from there. Tends to have slightly better results. Still not fantastic, but, you know. Oh, miss, I stole your braid idea. I like the idea of the character having sort of pigtails, but I've tied them up at the back so it fits in the hat. But I credited you and showed your artwork on stream, so yeah. Also, hi miss, how you doing? Maybe people are trained to be nurses from a very young age in this universe. Possibly. I prefer the idea that maybe that it's, I don't know, maybe that's just... I've got to keep remembering that, you know, if you make a fantasy world, which is just the world you want to exist in, then it's probably not going to be very interesting. I was going to say I don't like the idea of like sort of people being sort of forced in childhood into working as nurse. I like the idea that it's something that people just choose to do, but you know, hey, that's what I would like in a world. Did you already sweet? Also, hi Chris. Hi. But you know, this isn't my story. This is our story. We've got to make up our own minds. Most of the biologists you know are into really weird animals, so it wouldn't surprise you if most nurses in this world have familiars that aren't cuddly pets. Yeah. String of crimes from a nurse with a poisonous dart frog familiar. Ooh, maybe they are poisonous. Or maybe they give off a healing goo. Who knows? Gonna be mostly in Merklode. You're gonna be mostly in Merklode this evening. That's a horrible couple of words. Lurk mode. But hope you're all good and lovely. I also hope you're good and lovely, and I suspect you are. Merklode, yeah. As the lore behind the familiar has been dug into. But I other than the idea of you just get attached to an animal, that attachment is a vague pseudo-magical sort of thing. And they get attached to you, you get a bit simpatico, and...
Going into Merklode.
Lovely. And that connection causes the lifespan of the animal to extend. If the connection's strong enough, it doesn't have to happen to an animal. Could be an inanimate object, like a lump of coal. If you happen to have never seen an animal because you've been stuck on a train your whole life. Lick the frog. Oh, maybe there's like a rival from their past and they have a poisonous frog. Ooh, that could crop up. We've got a healing frog, but they've got a poisonous frog, and they've been secretly poisoning people this whole time. Who knows? See, these are ideas that we can develop now, and then if we suddenly get a symbol that says introduce a new character, we can go, what have we got? You know, we don't have control over this story, mostly, so when we can get control and come up with ideas, we might as well. Oops. Yeah, Rivals fun. Rivals are always good. If you want a good old RPG story, there's got to be a rival somewhere. Music, why are you so quiet? Stop it. Or more accurately, keep doing it but louder. Yeah, so... Again, no idea how quickly this whole thing's gonna go. This project might end up lasting like months. Well, it's gonna last months. Of course it's gonna last months, but more than 6. Went to the same nurse school, but then afterwards they went the wrong path and became poisoned using assassin. Oh, sorry. I read that wrong. They became a poison using assassin rather than they became a poison using assassin. I hate it when, don't you hate it when somebody becomes a poison and they just won't stop using assassins at you? It's terrible. English strikes again. Bloody language. The end of that bit of music always reminds me of the Aristocats. And I don't know why. Well, don't you have a thing related to that? Ooh! Interactive conversations, the wonders of streaming. It's great. I kind of want to do one of those cheesy, sort of oddly positioned headshots that they have in Final Fantasy games for all of the avatars. Yeah, sounds like Aristocats, right? Oh, Charmed! That's why I keep thinking of a trefoil. I remember Charmed. Their name is Poison. Some good old nominative determinism. How about this character's name is Poison? It's spelled poison, but it's pronounced the French way, so the name means fish. Poisson! the stealthy nurse assassin, Poisson. Also, frog needs bod. Do we remember Charmed? What a funny question. Wow, I managed to get Miss out of Merklode by mentioning Charmed. It's part of our cultural history. I remember it being like Buffy, but soapy. Yeah, like Charmed isn't a staple of culture. Oops gets it. I love this music. Just the kazoo going wild. Oh, you've got the backpack. So the travelling nurse. So yeah, unconventional weaponry. So we have broom, we have shovel. Feel free to design a character just so that they can have a weird weapon. Thing is in Discord. Let's have a look at the Discord. Ooh. There we go. Some people make some nice embroidery. I like the skull at the bottom as well. That was for the sake of reference. This was by Hobula? I think Hobula on Tumblr. It's difficult. I have not yet been able to pass the hierarchy of who posts what on Tumblr. It's almost impossible for me to tell who actually posted a thing. Oh no, it's shitpost sampler, that's it. It is that. Okay, yeah. Okay, cool. Shitpost sampler. My favourite bit of folk medicine is that we're supposed to take wormwood for intestinal parasites. It's actually really effective, which is how wormwood got its name. But the reason it's effective is that wormwood is literally just poison and it happens to kill the worm slightly faster than it kills you. I mean, one could argue that's true of quite a lot of medicine. We just know how to take it in doses that don't kill us. There are medicines that can't kill you, but usually they're potent enough to, if you take too much. Then again, that is the definition of too much, so it's not really particularly descriptive. Well, what am I talking about? Let's draw. You have a very long neck. It's being pulled down by the. Have I mentioned that the Rayman Origins soundtrack is very good? It's very fun. If you want a fun soundtrack, this is a good one. There's a tabard. And that's got the big old charmed trefoil on it. That's a little bit small. I assume if we wanted to, we can come up with, you know, the 3 things that this symbolizes. Or alternatively, the 4 things. You know, like it's a Venn diagram. There's this bit, and this bit, and this bit, and this bit is goodness. That's medicine. Like the 3 parts are like, you know, study, sympathy, and positivity, and and in the middle you get medicine, like a circle diagram. Yeah, the circles actually carry on around here. That's what it actually looks like as a whole, but they only show a bit of it. It's Akira. Hi, how you doing? Yes, we still don't have names, but we could work that out on Tuesday. Also noses. I made fun of the. Well, I didn't make fun of, I just pointed out in Signs of the Sojourner that nobody had a nose. And now I'm doing it. Then again, it's a bit weird in Signs of the Sojourner when there's a beard that goes where a nose should be. In the middle, you have to interpret for yourself as an exercise. The remainder of this Venn diagram is left to the reader as an exercise. God, the number of times I read that. The middle is frog. The middle is frog. You have to look hard, but it's there. Jimmy gets it. Answers in the back of the book. Oh, it was frog. Yeah. Okay, should we have a crack at maybe doing... I like that picture, that's nice. Yeah, I sort of practiced this style for Avonvale, so it's not too bad to get into. Whether or not I'll be able to do it quickly enough to tell this story, who knows? Yeah, so... Because so far of the story, we have literally 1 symbol. Need to know that. You just want to meet the one person who's familiar as a worm. I imagine there's like, you know, there's a lot of kids that like playing around in the gun with worms and stuff like that. Bet there's loads. A companion's a companion. And I'm sure there are some arseholes out there who are like, oh, my companion's an eagle. You've got a worm? Ugh. You're so inferior. What are we doing? Obviously we. What am I doing? It's not on you. Yeah, so this is the plot. When it loads, there it is. We have 1 symbol. We have met people. That's all that is. So yeah, there's a fair old amount of stuff happens in the first location. So I'm presuming this is like the first town we go to where the train is. So this is like all the train stuff. We'll see. Who knows? Yeah. We'll work out the rest as we go. Should we try for... Yeah, okay, let's try and do a little avatar picture. Get a nice little drawing. We've met the protagonist, frog, coal, and coal person. I'm calling them Stoker in my head. I don't know, it's a profession, but it might be a name, who knows. What I'm thinking is like, I want to get that typical like sort of fantasy sort of portrait angle. Inexplicably looks oddly cool, like they've just been snapped in the middle of doing something. A slightly weird angle. The Triquetra represents the topologically simplest possible knot. Yes, it's the trefoil. It is pretty cool. I studied knot theory at university, and every time I said that to one of my friends, he would say, well, you know, There's not a lot of it's a very practical field, because after all, it's not theory. Number of times I heard that joke from the same person. If you're watching, Ruben, hi. I studied knot theory. Yes, it is. I've forgotten most of it, to be perfectly honest, but it was good. You know, all about the different ways that you can find the canonical representatives for families of knots. And, apparently, it's a big thing in chemistry because I don't know if it's. I can't remember whether it's RNA that does it or that something does this to RNA. But basically, there's a thing in biology and chemistry where molecules are extraordinarily tangled up, but there's something that can just come along and just really easily unknot them, and it does it in ways that we don't understand how efficiently it can do it. It's and so we're sort of trying to learn knot theory just to keep up with nature, because it's a lot better than us at it. Yeah, so, but I just like it for the theory, because I like algebra and algebra stuff. Knot theory is good. It's also linked to, I think, is it linked to, almost certainly linked to group theory. Everything's linked to group theory. Might be linked to modular arithmetic as well. Not sure. Which was another one of my areas of study. It's in the title of my PhD thesis, actually. One day, I will attempt to explain what my thesis was about on stream. I think I can do it, because I always, to people who didn't sort of know anything about maths, I always used to say, imagine, you know a slot machine, right? Imagine trying to make one of those, but with a portal gun. And then you're kind of one step towards knowing what I did for my PhD. You know, practical knots, slip knots, and the like. This has one of those semantic problems. Technically, they're not knots. They are ties or things like that. A knot requires both ends to be attached, and as a consequence, you cannot untangle them. The reason being is that, mathematically speaking, if you can untie it, then it's just equivalent to a bit of string, and that's not interesting. So we're interested in the things you can't untie, which is why the trefoil is the simplest one, because it's quite difficult to make something that is not untieable. No, that is untieable. No, that isn't untieable. Oh no, I was right first time. There's a lot of maths in that nature is better than us at. Fractals are another one. Yeah, fractals are cool. Oh, what did I do with fractals the other day? I was doing something with fractals. Can't remember what it was. Fractals are good. I don't know what their nose would look like in real life, but a big old one of those. I mean, I'm not averse to that. The eyes are wrong for the angle. Remember to zoom out. Stand back from your work. See how it's going. I also quite like this setup I've got going for the tablet. You were trying to think of characters while this discussion's going on, and now all you can think of is a mathematician working on a boat lecturing everyone about knots. I'll fit them in somewhere. Why not? A mathematician. Ah. Yeah, mathematics in this world is equivalent to magic, but magic is just mundane. It's a bit Terry Pratchett, I guess. Let's relax this time. Yeah, what was I doing with fractals? I remember doing a thing with fractals and saying, oh, that'll be an interesting thing to talk about on stream, and now I've forgotten. I don't like that much. Sorry, frog. A bit of your eye off. Go to buy you a notebook for all these ideas. I have post-it notes, but they're not particularly efficient. Do it. I was also looking up bookbinding because that's something I want to have a crack at some point. So I could probably make myself a notebook at some point. I have too many interests, and not enough of them make money. I guess I've got to get used to drawing these sorts of hats if we're going to be doing Final Fantasy IX at some point. Who knows? Who knows how long this is going to take first? Posture, thank you very much, Flynn. Let's do it just with the tabard, not with the... The other thing I wanted to get across with this idea is don't think of this as a kind of like sort of Parsnipmon kind of thing where it's like, oh, you throw your ideas in and then I'm gonna do them as a finalized version and whatever. So like we're all concept artists for the same thing here. So draw these characters in whatever way you fancy. This is just a style I'm gonna do for the sake of convenience. Does this character have any piercings? Dunno. Things, we're all in this together. We're all in this together. I'm gonna let it shine. Oh no, that's braid, isn't it? Difficult to keep track of what's braid and what's not. I just didn't know what song the Miss was referring to, so if in doubt, troll. I still want to do that Tombury edit. I think I'm gonna have to I'm gonna have to play the game again, get to the point where there is a Tombury and film it. So one thing you thought of as a location is a place called the Magma City. City in a lake of magma, which uses it to power stuff and heat the city. A bit advanced place with the engineers, alchemists, mages all working together to bring about the future. The future. Yeah, I'm all for geothermal. Stick that on the list of fun locations we can visit at some point. Hopefully we can weave that into the narrative in a fun way. I'll start posting things to the Discord room at some point, as soon as we get stuff. Why do you look sad? Drawing eyes on frogs is hard. You would have thought this would be the hardest character to draw. Then again, I haven't tried to design Dark's train driver robot yet. We'll get to that. It's always number one on the list of hardest places to visit. Oh yeah. See, maths people and puns, it's just a natural combination. It just happens. Never wide mouth. Like a little bit of a wide mouth, not a full ribbit. Why does this frog look like they just remembered something they forgot to turn off the stove? It's... and they're usually so laid back. Frogs don't have tails, do they? No. I haven't seen a frog for ages. We used to have loads in our back garden. We used to just invade the pond. Yeah, we haven't had any since we moved. Like a giant iron platform and a pillar high above the lava. Ooh. Richard Railton, you see them with the conductor cap, apron and beard. Very old man vibes. See, I was thinking big moustache. Big metal moustache. I'm sure we can add that with the beard. There's something about a riveted moustache is just... it's a good time. Are we alright with this as a kind of... We don't need that. The little avatar for the character. You're like old man who also works on the train. Need somebody who can drive the train after all. Some sort of robo-facial adornment. Character is adorable. This is our protagonist. Strong helping person who is here to give you medicine, but big bad corporation says no. The design chef's kiss. Yes, random mushrooms and a frog. I'm a master character designer. It's also not quite, the hat's not quite in the right place. Oh, I'm gonna fix that. It's bugging me. No, that means that these are too far forwards. Just want to illustrate. There's not a. I just want to illustrate that this has thickness rather than. I want it to look like it's got trim. It might have trim, who knows? That just wasn't the intent. I guess if we're going to do this properly. Okay, cool. I see many problems. In particular, the bottom of the eyes don't line up with the angle that we're looking at. So, that's sorted. More kazoo. Oops. There's a specially developed branch of magic that's just to make things heat resistant. Some idiot thought at one point he could just wear the runes and swim in lava. It doesn't make you heat resistant. And nonetheless, the place was named after him. There are signs everywhere saying swimming prohibited, it's lava. And the eyes don't make sense at all. This eye needs to go down. This is why you flip stuff early, so you don't have to deal with this. Now fix all the problems that that's introduced. This is just the first sketch. Good old Molten Steve. Molten Stave, yes. This also looks a bit too straight. You better have that go down a bit. Wibbly wobbly hat. If you're watching somebody play Breath of the Wild and you get flame-resistant armor to explore around an active volcano, but going in the lava still kills you. You'd think. The armor will stop you getting hot, but it won't stop your feet melting. Feet melting. That's a Game Grants reference. Melting. Where you put the doggo in the bed to hang out while you paint. Oh, doggo. A special branch of fire elemental lifeguards was stated after that incident happens more than it should. Versus where he is so you can't pull your table close to you. Oh. It's all snuggled up. It's comfy. Right, sorry. Just stretching. There's the tabard. Is tabard the right word? I think it is. Just one of those words where I've always assumed that's what that is, and I've never actually verified it with anyone. Another big old flip. Is it worth maybe bringing this? Oops, not like that. Is it worth maybe just colouring the whole thing in? Maybe. Who knows? That frog still, I don't know. Start with ovals. Why? Another thing I was going to, when in doubt, silhouette. Yeah, looking at a silhouette is a good idea every now and then. Also, that's another slight mathematical etymological thing that annoys me when people say, you know, when you see those art tips online, people are like, hey, avoid using tangents, and they show like, you know, there's a thing like that, and then there's another thing that comes along and it goes like that. And they're like, hey, don't do that. That's tangent. And I'm like, no, it's not. What that is that's an unintended intersection. A tangent is what just happened there, where the hat was coming off like that. And you're like, oh, that's actually going off the line that is here, and it looks like that's part of that line. And that's a problem, because that confuses what's what. Unless, of course, you have colour and shading. Again, tangents aren't really a problem if you're going to shade things. But yeah, a tangent is the thing that goes off on a tangent to something like that. It's just like, whoop, oh, we're just going to go off that way. Which is where we get the words tangent from in the trigonometric functions. I opened Unity somehow. Go away. How did I do that? Leave. Nathan annoys you. He talks about tangents all the time. It's not, you know, it's not any individual person. It's just the fact that they've become to known as that. Is that a sentence? That have come to be known as that. That's what I'm trying to say. And it's like, that's not, yeah, I don't know. It's just a misleading intersection, not rather than a tangent. Tangents are problematic. It's just a lot of the time when people say this is a tangent, it's not. But by the same token, language, you know, the only arbiter of language is usage, and if people call it that enough, then that's what it means. So it's one of those words where I'm like, I know that it, you know, my immediate reaction, because I'm aware of pre-existing definitions of this word, is that what they say is wrong, and that trips me up, but they're having a perfectly good time communicating sensibly, so I can't really complain. But here I am complaining live on stream. For the Trigonomicon. So I read that as like that. It's sort of like mathematical gnomes, magical mathematical gnomes. Actually, surely that's the thing. Surely the Necronomicon. Surely someone's done that, right? The gnome Necronomicon. That's just like little gnome people summoning demons or whatever. Can't believe Chris cancelled Nathan. You take this to Twitter. Nathan is a good. Math gnomes. Ooh. Not like this first thing to put here, but Magma City. Ooh. Always a good idea to build a city on rocks that can burst out into lava at any moment. Wonderful. Here is a chib. Here's a chib drawing for the concept art for Magma City, or Don't Be a Steve. The big old cracking rocks with magma spurting out of it, and they've built Magma City on a precarious pole. I'm kind of thinking, because like if a lot of this story is going to involve train travel, right? What with the whole story about hijacking a train. I'm trying to think of like ways the train can get there, and I like the idea of the train there being like a track just looping around the base, going all the way up in a spiral, or a helix, I guess. Don't show you a 20-second doodle on stream. I will show good concept art for these things because I like it. Safe and stable. Yeah. You know, somebody wrote the B-movie script and named it a pun on the Necronomicon. Let's think. I can't remember what the study of bees is. It's not Lepidoptery, is it? It'd be the Lepidopticon. Standing lava table. Everyone needs one. You've got a lava lamp. Why not a lava standing table? You imagine it can raise and lower. By which you mean the base is slowly being melted and it's falling down, but they keep building it up every now and then. The rails are on a system that's only connected to the city at set times when the flows are safer. Oh. So they've got like lava tides. So our characters can be trapped in the city for a bit when things are going all wrong and they can't escape. See? Plot contrivances, it's great. Still not happy with the frog's eyes, but we'll sort that out when I do better drawings. I'm going to stick with the pencil-y sort of feel for this. Should we do this on a new thing? Get like a nice big old picture of this character. Although I'll keep it there as well. Why not? Necronomicon. There we go. Bad guys could wake up the lava snack. See? We've got to think of bosses as well. Bosses are a part of this. So we've got to come up with ideas for weird ways that our characters can be attacked by random fauna. Or flora. Or minerals. I don't judge. Let's give this a quick save. I'll have a folder for avatars. Avatars, this is going to be worse. Because I don't know their name yet. Lava snack. Or snacks. Many snacks. Full hive of lava snacks. See, people thought that Steve actually burned in the lava. It wasn't, it was the snacks. The great thing about that picture is the lava coming through the cracks implies it's right next to the active part and the wall is not thick. Yeah, that city's not going to last long. That dam's going to burst. But you know, they've got the technology to hold it back until the technology goes wrong, until it's sabotaged. I'm trying not to go near the story of Final Fantasy V, because it's not the same thing, but there's a similar thing happened in that. Wasn't a good idea, but they could, so they did. Yes, we spent so much time wondering if we could that we never stopped to think if Jurassic Park did it first. They're not inherently angry, but they get riled up, and our heroes have to go calm them down. Oh, like the antlion stuff in Final Fantasy. I need to stop talking about Final Fantasy. I need to play Chrono Trigger so that I can talk about something other than Final Fantasy. I still haven't carried it on because Valheim got in the way. Love this background jazz. Then you've got this one person who's familiar is a lava snack, and so they just sort of have to keep living by the lava. Like, you're familiar, it doesn't have to follow you around, I guess. Just sort of makes sense if they do. They get attached to you. Otherwise you've got to visit frequently. Oh, that's the point. I was going to have a crack at trying to make this in... Oh, no, I did. I started. Remember Miss said that they wanted this brush in Procreate, so I had a crack at trying to make it, but then I realised I couldn't test it without using my stylus, and I couldn't find it, so I stopped. But I'll find it. Stoker Friend is very worried for Kaolin? Colin? Oh, Colin. Oh, right. Sorry. Stoker's friend is very worried for coal in Magma City. So I thought that was a name. Coalin. Who's Coalin? Yeah, inexplicably, the actual brush that this uses is like a triangle? Yeah, it's that, which is interesting. And that's the only texture that is involved in this. So I've got to work out a way of properly reproducing the actual brush. Is it pronounced Colin? Possibly. Colin the Coal. Stoker friend does not have a great imagination for names, but it's fine. This feels like it's a lot stronger than it should be. Did I turn? Oh, I might have turned the brush density up when I was trying to work out how to turn it into a thing. That's a bit better. Oh, that was what you were going for. Oh, okay. Oh no, yeah, you didn't spell it wrong. There is an in there. Look, I'm still tired from yesterday's walk. The head of the engineering guild has a sentient bomb as a familiar. That's a weird thing to get attached to. Over a long period of time, this child got attached to this bomb. And they live in a place where anything could set it off. Literally lava spouting out of the walls. It's fine. The bomb will be fine. One of the ones with a lit fuse, it just never goes off. Oh, I see. So the familiar magic causes it to not explode. Okay. Whoops. Oh, we're onto this part of the soundtrack. Yeah, these sorts of voices start inexplicably appearing here. It can explode when it's angry like Voltorb, it just gets real sooty. Anime explosions, it's fine. Nobody actually gets hurt. Maybe a little smile. Yeah. Or I love it when someone posts just or wait or. It's like, I need to get this thought out, but I need to put a bookmark here to indicate that this is coming. I love it. It's often very difficult to express enthusiasm in text. Fuse gets a little bit shorter each time he gets angry. Ooh. They have to go to anger management classes. Oh, I didn't even notice that. The fuse gets a little bit shorter. Listen, there's another one. Listen. Ooh. Lava snack. Lava snack. Does whatever a lava snack. Lava snack. Yeah. You've had a very hard week, you might be subconsciously venting. Well, feel free to consciously vent. I have no qualms with a conscious vent. It lives in lava, it eats lava, it has lava flowing through its veins. It lava snack. Dun, 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 lava snack. Who knows? Who knows if lava snack will be a boss? I don't. We'll have to see. I need I need a new protective thing for my drawing tablet because I'm starting to wear through it and there are just like marks right in the middle of it where I've cut through the protective coating and I have to keep moving things to the side just to see them properly. So that's not good, is it? It is the lava, but it also eats the lava. We love a snake here. More maths puns. They're not to do with maths, but they're told by math people. Maths puns. Yeah, it's the other way around, isn't it? Oh. Well, he was hoping that the first symbol that comes up in the thing isn't death. Because if we've only met one character and we get the death symbol, this will have been a waste of time. I should have waited till the end of March to do this and done it as a April 1st thing. I've never done an April Fool's, possibly because I don't really find it funny when people do it. But at the same time, I'm a streamer, and streamers do that sort of thing. Say I'm a streamer, I stream. As we ascertained last time, I'm not a streamer because my volume is not loud enough. I must be screaming much more. Streamer rhymes with screamer. No, it works. There can be a plague and that drives the plot forwards. It works. What works? Sorry, last I heard there was a bitch bomb. What? Hey, for just being able to bust braids out like that. I can't remember. I did spend a decent amount of time trying to work out how to draw braids. So I have practiced, I guess. Can't remember why I did it, but I did. Oh no, it works. There can be a plague, and that drives the plot forwards. Oh, yeah, okay. If a first symbol's death, yeah, sorry. You know me, I forget everything as soon as I say it. I don't think you want to be one of the ones that screams poggers all the time. I will say, and this may be a controversial opinion, I think the new PogChamp is the best. Then again, it might be the fact that it's not human. And the human ones kind of annoyed me. Yeah, I don't know if we're going to go with like a full-blown plague thing happening as a story point, or if we're going to sort of keep it low-key for maybe a plague happens later or something, or like, oh, there's a manufactured plague. Maybe the original idea is like the big bad company are like they're just price gouging. They're just buying up the medicine so they can sell it at, you know, huge profits later. But some evil person of the organization works out, but now we've got all the medicine. If we make a plague, if we deliberately inflate necessity or whatever, then we can sell it back to them at a huge price or something like that. Evil money-making scheme that involves plague. I don't know. You still don't know what PogChamp is, other than a thing people say. PogChamp is... now... it's this. This is a happy little Komodo Dragon. It's going, like that. Originally, it was a person doing a face as if to say, oh my god, this is amazing and unexpected. And then, obviously, being a person on the internet, at some point they did something horribly wrong, and they decided to change it to a different person, and then to a different person, and they settled on Komodo. Because Komodo Dragon is friend. I think it was just a thing to denote excitement or shock, etc. Exactly, yes. It's usually for when something exciting or shocking happens on screen. See, Kira and Mist, they're on the same wavelength. Now, Kira, I don't know if you were here for when we ascertained the arc of your character. Everybody in this party has an unconventional weapon. So, Witch friend, nurse friend has a broom, though they just use as a quarterstaff. Coal friend has a shovel, etc., etc. And as a consequence, Kajiro follows the party around, desperately trying to sell them knives, but no one uses knives, so they're like, appreciate you wanting to help, but we don't really want to kill anything. We're just fighting things off. First one was just a random pick of a Twitch staffer. The thing I never got was because they did. I like the idea of, you know, when they wanted to replace it, they replaced it with just like a bunch of different people doing the face, and it was like a different one each day or something. I quite like that. They did the sort of "have I got news for you" thing. But I don't know whether it was like people didn't see the same thing in that picture that I did, but half of them were not pulling the right expression. And it's like the one thing you need to get right in an emote is the emotion. It's kind of in the name. Or more accurately, the name's in it. I like this version a lot more. Anything can be improved with a Komodo Dragon. Hope you're all in the mood for some Hawaiian chipmunk music. Rosie has arrived and decided the keyboard is for sitting. It's comfy. We almost had Kiki with us today, but she decided to leave when I was doing my warm-up vocal exercises. Because today is very wet outside and very windy, and she doesn't like it, so she didn't want to go out. You ever considered she might be right? See? GB knows what's up. Not everything that is developed for a purpose is best applied for that purpose. It could have an unintended, preferable solution or application. You know, the thing I'm doing this on, the thing I'm streaming this on, and you guys are watching it on, and all that sort of stuff, that was developed for mathematics. For solving mathematical problems. It's a big old calculator. It computes. It took over from the people whose job it was to compute, who were called computers. The job is now an inanimate object. Didgeridoo. What I'm trying to say is, why can't a keyboard be a bed? You always thought the my cats on my keyboard thing was just a joke. Nope. To get Rosie her own keyboard, so that she has something to ignore when walking over yours. Apparently, according to the internet, she'll use hers as you use yours. I'm looking forward to the interesting roleplay stories that Rosie writes. Oh, I'm spending quite so much time getting the details of this, what will end up being a 50 pixel by 50 pixel PNG in the corner of the screen, but hey, here we are. This is the main character, I think. Presumably this is the main character, we'll find out. I hope this is the main character, I like them. And it's nice to have an RPG story like this where the main character's female and not utterly useless. I'm looking at you, Final Fantasy VI. It's called mirroring, and yeah, cats, dogs, and kids will do it. I have yet to see my cat doing any maths. Ah, it's this one. This soundtrack's got some weird bits in it. Circle sections and in perspective. This is why I didn't talk about circles in my affine geometry video. Because while affine geometry has circles, drawing those in perspective is not a good time. In fact, if you watch if you're a patron and you watch the time lapse that I put up, you can probably see me struggling to draw circles in perspective, and I did it wrong, which is annoying. I worked that out only when I was in the colouring phase. I thought, brilliant, I've got a system, and it wasn't. What Smurf CD is this? This is the Rayman Origins soundtrack. I think this is supposed to be like the voice of the Lums or something. You miss Smurf CDs. Can't say I've ever heard one. Maybe Kiki's doing secret maths. No. She'd be more likely to get someone else to do it for her. Anyway, frog friend. He's a little old friend who is also a frog. Oh, hang on. Keyboard. There we go. Keyboard has been doing weird things lately. Oh look, a tangent. Keyboard. There we go. Now the angle that this is intersecting is not the tangent. We had one when you were little, and it's the only one that you can't find anywhere online. So all you have are your memories. There's so many things like that from childhood. I remember this one very specific thing, and it doesn't exist anywhere. I guess the main reason for that is it's generally easy to make things for kids, so you can just make a lot of stuff for kids and just like churn it out. Whether it's good stuff for kids or not, it's a different matter. And as a consequence, there's just so much of it, no one's actually keeping a record. They just make it, churn it out, make the next thing. You might still have a Smurf CD, you're not sure. Ooh. Is this the Smurf draw-through crossover that we've been waiting for? Oh, the Smurf's gonna be in this draw-through. Who knows? Did they have the Necronomicon? Then you try and Google it 15 years later and can't find a single reference to it, or you have no idea what it's called, and you're just like, happy fish song, think it had the word salad in it. Help! This is in the 1996 holiday CD, and you can rip it and send it to me. Ooh. That's very specific. My memory is not that good. Then again, a lot of the things from my childhood are things that, you know, like Divine Madness. All of the music videos of Madness. What's your favourite picture book from the doctor's office? About purple-coloured field, purple-coloured field, and a white rocking horse. Yeah. Do that with old cartoons all the time. I think I tried that with Trapdoor once. I eventually worked out what it was called. It's called Trapdoor. But yeah, plasticine door globbits. Get there eventually. Haven't turned this round yet. You've been down that old Google rabbit hole. Trying to think, there was something I did that with and I can't remember what it was. Oh no, there were a couple, yes. Transylvania Pet Shop and Oscar's Orchestra. There were two I had VHSs of as a kid. It was like no real references to them, at least not quickly. But they are there. They're on Wikipedia and all that now. You found one a while ago. You watched on Toonami, and you think about a rich guy who just has a giant robot and fights things, and then forgot what it's called again. That was the Scrooge McDuck. It was called Scrooge McDuck. Some you've managed to find, others are still elusive. Yeah, did anyone else watch Transylvania Pet Shop or Oscar's Orchestra? The latter of which was supposed to be an educational thing to teach children about music. And to be fair, music is pretty much the only thing I remember about it. Flight of the Bumblebee, I think, and Ride of the Valkyries. It was an anthropomorphic piano in a world that has banned music. So, you know, We Will Rock You, the musical, stole that idea. About the CDs and the tracks, there were just no MP3s or anything. Oh, so you have the name, but not the location. How about Megasexlar? Anyone remember that? You talked about that recently, didn't you? Google both of those and you have very, very vague memories of them. Do you know what, now I think about it, Transylvania Pet Shop might be a very deep, it's a hidden influence for October and Co. But then again, I guess you could say that about like the Munsters. There's a lot of, hey, let's get a bunch of horror things in the same place. Wouldn't that be kooky? It's not an original idea, that's what I'm saying. This is all too wrinkly for this art style. Come on. Need like chunky lines. There go the Smurfs again. Is that too? That might be too far out. Far out. Oh, that's the other thing I remember from Oscar's Orchestra. That's where I learned the word exhilarating. Because I think that was the catchphrase of one of the henchmen. That was most exhilarating. It's a nice word. You have found a CD to buy, but it's like 35 euros and you don't want it that much. That's fair. Was it the Big O? How things work? Yeah, kind of. Yes, there we go. See? Friends helping friends. Turns out it wasn't Transylvania Pet Shop. You watch some of it. Marvelous. On an absolute tangent. Haha, tangents. It's not really a tangent. See, I'm doing my own. I'm breaking my own rules. I'm a rule breaker. I learned something today, which was simultaneously very impressive and also very depressing. So Madness, who I've already mentioned, which is probably why I'm thinking about it now, are a band, and they were making music in the 70s. No, in the 80s. I think 80s. And they're probably known for, you've probably heard Our House, or maybe House of Fun, or Driving in My Car. It's kind of slightly novelty songs. But they made a lot of stuff, and they made a lot of stuff in the 80s, and I think they made 6 albums from when they started to when they broke up. They're back together now and they're making stuff again now, but they broke up for a long period of time during the 90s and stuff. And I always, sort of in my head had that as like, okay, that was, the big block of stuff that they did, the 6 albums that they did when they first got together, and then I think they've had 5 since then when they've reformed. And in my head, they're sort of equal sizes, but I found out the other day they were only together for like 8 years or something like that. And by the time they split up, they've had like dozens of top 10 hits. They've had 6 albums, they've toured the world. And by the time they split up, the lead singer was 25 years old. And I was like, simultaneously, that's an amazing achievement for a 25-year-old. To have done all that by the age of 25. And what do you do? Like, you're 25, you've just lost all of that because your band's broken up. What do? You're 25. But by the other token, 25. I'm almost 29. That's depressing. You did all that by 25. Sorry, I just wanted to share that. 25. You're 30. See, it's just like, I remember it because the guy was such a smug bugger and the robot had a piston super punch and he thought it was so cool. Smug and pouch. I'm still not too happy with the bottom. It doesn't feel like it belongs on the top. I need this to be a bit more smooth. These lines need to be a bit more definite. Gotta get your style consistent. Can't have it look like the bottom half was drawn by somebody else. Maybe one of those games of picture telephone or whatever. Just a bit too bits and pieces-y. It was like if Spider-Man and Batman were one person who had a mech and the Pacific Rim style monsters and weapons. So like Power Rangers. Sorry, I'm being very pernickety about this for some reason. This is what happens when you have a simple style, is you've got to make it not look fiddly. You don't have to, but I do. You know, if you want to have an easy life and not be as, overly examining as me, that's, more power to you. Yeah, the posture ended up being a bit sort of, you know, pious, innocent sort of thing. That's not necessarily what I was going for, but... You probably fix that by just doing that. But I like this. Posture! Hey! Hey, you! Don't watch that! Watch this! Got madness on the brain. Less exaggerated gestures with sound effects. Well, where's the fun in that? I love this. I'm glad. And guess what? You get to control this character. Oh, yes. Tuesdays at 7 PM GMT. Oh, that's the point. The clock's changing soon, aren't they? Bloody summertime, honestly. It's not even spring. How can it be summertime? It's not even spring. But yeah, this is the sort of thing I used to do for my Avonvale drawings, which one day I'll carry on. I've got a bunch of things I want to draw for it, but I've got to be in the mood to do it. So one rule for that: don't do it when you don't want it. You refuse to change your clock. That's fair. Unfortunately, you just have to be aware that my clock's going to be different. The time change. The great temporal shift. I sort of read that as like, fuck the time change, fuck the time change. Ragdoll don't like it. Yes, colour, I guess. Right. Probably not gonna have time to do full colour, but here we are. Hey, look, it's another character with a symmetrical design. Great. Time change has been messing with you today. Oh, did you have yours today? I don't know when ours is. It's usually on a Sunday, isn't it? It's not on my calendar. It's annoying. Tangents. Tangents, they call them tangents. Right, are we gonna go with... Your clocks changed last night. Oh yeah, that's a bad idea. Let's do that then. I'm about to explain that someone is losing their brain. Tangents. Tangents, they call them tangents. What? Has the music ended? No. It's just quiet. Sure. Well, here's hoping you can adjust to the temporal flux. What? Why did I do it this way? This was a really weird way to do it. Phenomena. Do 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 do. Phenomena. Do do do. Phenomena. Do 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 do. Thought this was an extra long stream for a while. Then you realise that it's now an hour ahead. Didn't realise what time it started since you were late. I thought you joined a stream an hour and a half late, not half an hour late. No, you were in there. Boom. Your mind's been on a ride recently. By the sounds of it, your brain is ahead of yourself. Oh. Hero be smart. It's like Johnny Be Good, but different. Are we colouring this character? I don't know. Apologies for defaulting to light skin. I just imagine this character has freckles for some reason. And And when I... No, you're supposed to clip. And when I think of freckles, I think of sort of pale skin with rosy cheeks. That's just me. Feel free to have your own design philosophies on how these characters should look. And ginger hair. I don't know about ginger hair. Maybe ginger hair? Is that going a bit too sort of, you know, stereotypical? You know, this character has a witch outfit on and is covered in trefoils. You like ginger hair? Ginger hair's nice. I'm up for ginger hair. Also love this character and their frog. We still don't have names, so we should probably have names at some point for these characters. Character A does this, and then this. And then character B does this. So I usually use fill buckets for these things, but since I'm going for that sort of Avon Valley feel, let's go for a yellowy green. And then something like that. For so does anybody have anything fun planned for the week? The week ahead? For I believe it's Sunday. I have drawing to catch up with because I'm very far behind on basically everything. Facility? Lily? Marlene? Facility? Facility or Felicity? One of them is industry, one of them is truth. The idea of a kind of tealy clothes, maybe? I know Chibi did a green. I'd like something that's slightly contrasting with the frog, maybe. More blue than teal. Oh, that's quite tealy. You gotta play more Hades next week as a break from all the grading. Hooray! More like Gradies. Which is what your students are gonna get if they don't let you play games. Again, just as a reminder, we're all concept creators for this, so feel free to have your version of this character look different, or feel or be different. Community projects. They're a thing. That's the slogan for community projects. All community projects have that slogan. It's not in my control, it's just a thing that exists. Maybe ginger hair would work with this. God mode resistance is almost maxed out, so you're gonna have to get good soon. Oh no, actually getting good at games. It's harder than you'd think. No, I like the but would that work with teal? Maybe just a lighter green, perhaps. Do I like that as a band colour? Do I want something darker there? Maybe not. You can do it. You're gonna go attempt to beat Rogue Legacy's New Game Mode Plus. Oh, I've never had success with that. Best of luck. Yeah, I'm probably gonna mess around with these colours a little bit some other time. On the plus side, I've drawn for 2 hours without feeling like crap. So, that's an improvement. Should we go? Yeah, let's go ginger. Why not? It's a bit sort of brownier than ginger, but. And again, if I sit down and mess around with these colours a bit. Sometimes doodles are a good time, sometimes. What was it? If I wanted to be a bit more in touch with fey nature, hair could change colour with the seasons. Ooh. Is it autumn in this story then? Again, I don't think we're going necessarily witch. I like the idea that the witch is just basically a coincidence. So that's what we would see as a witch, but it's just you know, nurses wear pointy hats because that's how they stand out, so that people can get help. She carries a broom because her mother gave it to her or something, and that's her weapon that she defends herself with in forests. Yeah, or it runs in her family. That's just a property of her family, in particular. Also, they're like brooms. I don't know how to explain the broom. I just like it. What's this? Ooh. Another magma city. Boom! More drawings with snacks, bonus snacks, and the helical train thing. Fun fact: if you're trying to draw a helix from the side, look up a sine wave. That's all it is. It's an easy little cheat. One could argue that is the definition of a sine wave. Yeah. The train thing is incredibly unsafe. The whole thing's unsafe, so that fits. This whole city's a nightmare. Also, sorry for blasting everyone's eyes out with red. It's a city covered in lava. How can you not? Nurses are defined by pointy hats and staffs. Ours is a big floppy hat with a broom. Look, they spend a lot of time going through the woods and they like brooms. What more could you possibly need? Oops. Yes, I'm not that good at colouring inside the lines. I have cheats. Thank you, clipping masks. Just do this before we finish. Oops. The idea that the house is a bit sort of velvety. Get that Fresnel going. What are we doing? But the whole city has heating and power with only a small tax to help maintain the mechanisms. This is a citizen's duty to help maintain all the mechanisms. Everybody's a mechanic. It's like Fisherman's Horizon, but this lava. I prefer like that. And then let's do my little trick. Stick that in there as a hue, and this under here. That. And then grab something like that. If you don't want to bother working out colours, you can always cheat with clipping layers. Clipping layers. Oh, lots of chat. People can bring home a complimentary jar of lava. I went to Magma City and all I got was this jar of lava. You sure that's a jar of lava? It looks like a rock in a jar. Also, the steam and fumes has to ruin one starches. Starches? Yeah. I do a lot of field work, which means I don't have the opportunities to starch the hat back into shape. I have a whole column's worth of comments I have not read. You have to sign a contract before you can buy that souvenir. Magma City is not liable for anything that might happen if the jar bursts or if you're stupid enough to open it. Yeah. If it's science lava and not magic lava, it'll just be a rock after you take it out of the lava flow for a while. See, Ragnar got there before me. The city's only engineers and tourists because no one's crazy enough to actually live there voluntarily. You want to be this character. Be the character you want to see in the world. Hope that helps. Yeah. And if I take off my magical tricks... Ah, it's all purple. Yeah. And geologists, yes. The geologists take one look and they're like, rock, lava. Yep, I'm done. Well, there we go. We have a character. Oh, hang on. Got to do the other important thing. Can't have black line art. What am I talking about? And then if I do this, a little bit of a blur. Use it a tad. Alright, glider enthusiasts also like to hang out in the city just for the updrafts. Yeah. I like this one. Where's my ukulele? Oh, it's on the other side of the room. Anyway, well, we did a thing. Here is our character. We do not know what they're called. This is saved as worse.clip. Yeah, and these were the other... No, hang on. Why is that still open? Go away. And these were the other doodles we did. Yeah, so on Tuesday, we'll start revealing that first column and see where this story goes. Fingers crossed it lines up with our expectations. Yeah, so I'll flip that over. You can get enchanted lava for a bit that maintains its lavaness. Or heat, as some people call it. Magma City takes no responsibility. If said lava is taken out of containment, doing such will void all warranties or eligibility for refunds. Injuries sustained are considered self-induced accidents. Yeah. So yeah, Tuesday. I should probably come up with a slightly more interesting hex than this, but there it is. It's just the abstract glyph that I made so that all of the symbols would slot into it. Don't be like Steve. Just saw that looking up. Oh, was there a little warning sign? Oh, I didn't see that. Oh yeah. Love it. Little warning signs for anyone who might think swimming in the lava or hanging out in the lava snakes is a good idea. Yeah, a bit of a problem. All engineers living in Magma City agree it's an absolute nightmare. They curse the people who thought of it. Yeah, who did think of it? I want to meet that character. And we may well do. Who knows whether we'll ever get to Magma City? We'll find out. Yeah. Thanks for the good stream. Thank you for helping make it a good stream. And I appear to not hate drawing again. So all it took was a week of not drawing. Yeah, fingers crossed I can actually get some October done this week. The mayor of Magma City, obviously, Johnny Magma, found a Crom Brimstone. This is a better better name than Johnny Magma, isn't it? Isn't brimstone just sulfur? Isn't that a thing I learned at some point? Yeah, anyway, thank you for coming along. I'll leave you with this exciting music. I'll see you on Tuesday if you're going to pop along for that. And if not, have a great time doing whatever it is you're going to do. Have a great week. Look after yourselves. Thanks for joining me and keeping me company and chatting nice things. And I'll see you around. Have a lovely time. Goodbye.